Fran Brown said the quiet part out loud.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on today's show, we are going to listen to and react to pretty much everything that head coach Fran Brown had to say in his second spring press conference. He's going to give his thoughts on the quarterback competition, his thoughts on Demetres Samuel, a four-star corner, true freshman in the class of 2025. He is making waves in spring ball. But we're going to start this podcast a little bit out of order because in the middle of his press conference, Fran Brown acknowledged how the NCAA Oversight Committee denied the Syracuse and Colorado spring game, and Fran Brown was asked about it. It's a long response, over 2 minutes, but take a listen to what he had to say.
Dang. That was my first reaction, like, damn, they're really not gonna let us do it? I'm funny, so there's a lot of other things I would say, like, you know what I'm saying? We should have, we should have did? I'm really excited, though, so I'm going to say this. I'm happy that Coach Prime and myself were able to do that, and Coach Prime come up with an amazing idea, and us being able to do it, because now everyone will get an opportunity of, hopefully this will happen in the near future, right?
Still okay.
Be able to do it, but I do believe we should have just told Coach Belichick and Bill O'Brien to come up with it, and then they would have let them do it. And then it would have all went, right? We shouldn't have been the first two dudes to say, damn well they wasn't about to let Coach Prime Time and Fran Brown be the first two guys to do it all over their dead bodies, so that wouldn't happen that way. I'm just messing with you, NCAA. Don't get all mad and call my AD and try to find me. I'm literally joking. But I think that they were headed in the right direction, right? And they had all the right reasons. It wouldn't have gave everybody the same opportunity, right? It would have been a little advantage and it wasn't about us being able to practice, because us practicing together would have only limited the amount of people on the field. It would have been 11 on the field now instead of, we goes 2 spots, so it's 44. So now instead of that, it would have been 11 going at a time, right? The financial literacy stuff that me and Coach Prime was talking about being able to do would have been something that these kids would have been take with them for a long time. And then we was going to have it set up where our study hall was going to be together. Guys was going to be in there doing work and things of that nature. So we were trying to build like a full family, more so than just, hey, the spring game was going to do that. That would have been a cool event at the spring game, but it was more so about this spring ball thing. Everyone's trying to like fade away from it. They don't want everyone to see it. So we're trying to bring some light to it to say like, hey, this is a huge event, right? This would have been a huge fight like going on. You'd have been able to see us play them on April the 18th, the day before Easter in Colorado. Everything would have sold out, right? So now you could have been able to look forward to that. You could get Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, like those dudes aren't all in the same conference. I don't really know the conference, but you can get all them down and start playing each other and doing different things like that. I think that would be amazing if we start doing that. I heard Temple and Penn State was trying, linking afterwards. I don't know what that would have been, but it was just a good deal, like to have people go and do it, right? So see how it goes. I think that we've opened it up, and it should happen next year.
He says he's joking about UNC head coach Bill Belichick and Boston College head coach Bill O'Brien, that if they had brought up the spring game proposal together, that the NCAA would have actually approved it. He says he's joking, but is he joking? Really? And even if he is joking, every joke, especially the good ones, have an element of truth to it. And I'll do Coach Fran Brown one better, or multiple better. You ready for this? If Alabama and LSU said they wanted to do a joint spring game at the same time that Syracuse and Colorado were putting together the proposal to do this, what do you think the NCAA would have said to Alabama and LSU? You think they would have said no? And listed out a whole bunch of reasons why, the timing, recruiting advantage, and education. More on that in just a second. You think the NCAA would have said no to Alabama and LSU? How about Miami and Florida if they wanted to do it? Think they would have said no? How about the Red River rivalry, Oklahoma and Texas? Or dare I say the game, Michigan-Ohio State spring game? There's no way the NCAA would have said no. Let's acknowledge that, okay? I get the timing is quick, but these big stools, if Syracuse and Colorado can do it in such a short amount of time, come up with a great plan, then most of these other programs around the country would be able to do the same thing. And as far as supposed recruiting advantage, I guess that's where the NCAA is going to draw the line. Even though unequal NIL is a recruiting advantage or disadvantage, or unequal facilities are a recruiting advantage or disadvantage, but they're going to draw the line with the proposed dual spring game. All right. But then they actually had the stones to say that education was one of the reasons why. Students missing class is one of the reasons why they did not approve a Syracuse-Colorado spring game. As Fran Brown mentioned in his answer, Syracuse and Colorado were going to have group financial literacy sessions. They were also going to have group study halls. This is also the year of 2025. Zoom is a real thing. You can also have private tutors. Spare me with the education excuse by the NCAA. And if they really cared so much about education, like they claim to by rejecting this proposal of a Syracuse-Colorado spring game, the NCAA just expanded the college football playoff to 12 teams. How does that help education? It doesn't. It's more games, more missed class. How is the NCAA tournament good for a student's education? It's not, and you know it. It is a money-making business. Education is super duper important. That's not what I'm trying to say. But the NCAA saying that education is one of the reasons why they rejected this, it's hilarious. At the end of the day, it didn't happen a Syracuse-Colorado spring game this year. It would have been really fun, which means the NCAA, of course, didn't approve it. But Fran Brown, in one of the sound bites that I left out of this press conference, he said that they're going to try again next year, Syracuse and Colorado. So hopefully all goes according to plan there. Now, coming up, we'll talk more about the Syracuse and Colorado spring game and also about how Syracuse is doing in spring ball. All that and more coming up next here on Locked On Syracuse. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts online from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. You need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of steel professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Let's further the discussion about the NCAA Oversight Committee denying the Syracuse and Colorado potential spring game together. Fran Brown is then asked about the competition in the spring game going forward and what teams he would like to face. Take a listen.
Man, there's a lot that goes into it, right? It's a business, so there's a lot that goes into that, right? That's cool for like Little League jamborees to say, we want to go play them, we want to do this. We want to be healthy during the season, and we want to make some money, right? It's a business, and we want to be able to teach the players how to do that, and we want to make sure I educate them on why we are doing it, right? We go here, this gets to happen, these things go on, and being able to help you guys, right? So it's, you got to be able to have the right marketing too when you go and do it, right? Coach Prime and myself, I think that would have been a great marketing tool, right? You'd have been able to do that because he's a marketing genius. And then myself trying to follow his footsteps and come up. So I think that alone would have been different. So it just depends, right? I don't know if Buffalo's a great place. It's close to us, so that'd be good. I'm not sure if that'd be a good mix, right? I don't know how many people want to go to that for a spring game or go and do those things. It's still a great program. So it just depends. I think styles make fights, and it depends what you would go see, right? Who you gonna go see when certain games? What games when you say, oh, I can't wait to watch that tonight. Oh, that one, you'll be like, yeah, I'm chill. Let's just go to the movie. You might hear certain teams that say, let's just go to the movie. So certain teams say, hey, bro, I'm going to the movie tomorrow. I got to watch this game. I'm trying to get home, right? So I think we would have did a good job when it came to the ratings, television, all the money that we'd have been able to make for both schools.
No disrespect to Buffalo, but that's Fran Brown in a very nice way saying, we want to play another power conference opponent. Syracuse and Buffalo, they are in close proximity. It would make sense as a potential spring game, but as Fran Brown said in his answer, I mean, that's one of those, are you going to go to the movies or are you going to watch a Syracuse-Buffalo joint spring game? I don't know, right? Now, for me, of course, I'm going to watch the spring game, but for you, you might decide to go to the movies. However, if it's a Syracuse and Colorado spring game like the proposal here, and it was Fran Brown and Deion Sanders, you're not going to the movies. You're going to sit on your couch or you're going to go fly out to Colorado and you're going to watch that game. So it is a business. And ultimately, if this were to come to fruition, I would hope that Syracuse is playing another power conference team. Let's now move on from the spring game talk because it's over. It's dead, at least for now. Hopefully it comes back next year. Fran Brown is asked about his impressions on Syracuse's first scrimmage over the weekend. Here's what he had to say.
It was cool. We got a lot done. Able to establish the run game a lot, and then take some shots down the field. Different things that was done from a defensive standpoint. The guys are really bought into the defense because you're hearing it now. It's year two of it. Guys understand and everybody get to know it, so it's pretty cool to see those guys come together.
I am glad that Syracuse got the run game established in that scrimmage. The run game is certainly something that I'm going to keep an eye on for Syracuse next season. They are losing, they've already lost LaQuint Allen. He declared for the NFL draft. He has been Syracuse's starting running back the last 2 years. Excellent all-around player, and by all accounts, it appears that Syracuse is going to go with a running back by committee approach to hopefully replace LaQuint Allen. It's headlined by redshirt senior Will Nixon, and then a pair of true sophomores in Yasin Willis and Jaden Hart. So hopefully they can continue to establish the run over the course of the spring, into camp, and of course, into the season. The next question that Fran Brown is asked is about players being hurt or injured, and here's what he had to say.
Nah, it was a few. Probably wasn't nothing new. I don't know. Like, guys got little mix and acts, but we're a tough football team, so they understand you got to play through that. It's a difference between being injured and hurt, so they're doing a good job.
When you're injured, you don't play. Simple. When you're hurt, that's different, right? That comes down really to pain tolerance. But from Fran Brown's answer there, that's really a nothing burger. He didn't really shed light on anyone in particular. Will Nixon's actually interesting because I believe he's coming off a foot injury. So I hope that he is getting healthier and healthier over the course of the spring and, of course, into next season. Let's just hope that everyone on the team is healthy and ready to go by the time Tennessee week rolls around. The next question, Fran Brown is asked about the new general manager of Syracuse football. His name is Tommy Caparell. I believe that's how you say his name. He's taking over for the previous GM, Nate McNeil, who returned to Illinois this season. There's also a follow-up midway through this soundbite. Here's what Fran Brown had to say.
I know him for a long time. We've just always talk about working together. He's done an amazing job with all the stuff that he's done. He's like family to me, really, right? So just trust him. You know, I know that he and I know he'll have my back. Right? And then you want to be around people that you know going to have your back and that sees things the way you see it. So he's good, and he'll tell me the truth, right? When something isn't right, I trust that he'll tell me when I'm right or when I'm wrong. And he does a good job. He has a lot of experience of building a program. He was able to do that before when he was head coach at high school. He was coaching early on. I was coaching early on at ODU, different things of that nature. He's a smart guy, right? He's a smart Italian guy. I like Italians, you know what I'm saying? You know, he understands business. He's my guy. I don't think we lose anything except the brother. I think he's a great guy to work with. He's an amazing dude. He's a God-fearing man. And I'm just so happy for him, right? You know, it wasn't an issue of like Nate said, I wanted to go, I don't want to be here. I always go through our future goals, 6 month and year goal, and Nate's 6 month and year goal didn't match up with what he wanted with him being there. I thought it would match up more with him being where he is, and I told him I love him, I wish him the best, and I wish the best for Illinois. I hope they do a good job. They have a great head coach, Coach last name, I think Nate's in a good place. I think he's up there with Coach Dad, who I used to work with. So, I mean, he's back home, right? He's from Chicago. So I have my boy from Chi-Town, so I'm happy for him.
Not sure if you caught the ending of what Fran Brown was saying there, but it really doesn't matter all that much as far as what he had to say about the departure of Nate McNeil. Here's the deal between a head coach and general manager. You want synergy. You want them to be on the same page. And from what Fran Brown is saying, it sounds like that Coach Brown and Tommy Caparell, they have exactly that. Their goals, their vision for the team going forward are aligned. Now, in regards to Nate McNeil, he acknowledged it. They were not in line. There was not a perfect synergy there. So there's no bad blood whatsoever. And we wish Nate McNeil nothing but the best over at Illinois. Next, Fran Brown is asked about the QBs during the first scrimmage. Here's what he had to say.
They all impressed me. They all did good. I'm not going to really say anything else until I'm ready to say exactly, but I think they all did good. So they all did a really good job. I was happy with their leadership. I was happy with the way that they controlled the team when they was in, right? And everyone followed them. And I think they're all growing, right? Everybody's getting better. I'm just happy with where we are right now. I think we're in the right direction. We have a quarterback.
Again, not really sure if you could hear exactly what Fran Brown was saying, particularly at the end of the soundbite, but it actually was pretty important. Fran Brown said that they're going to have a starting quarterback really soon. The Syracuse spring game is on April 12th, and I imagine that we are going to have our answer before then. And my guess is that it's going to be LSU transfer Ricky Collins. Now, coming up, we'll talk more about Syracuse in their first scrimmage and true freshman Demetres Samuel. That's what's coming up next here on Locked On Syracuse. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment? It's easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Let's keep reacting to what Fran Brown had to say in his second spring ball press conference. The next question, Fran Brown is asked what he wants to improve upon after the first scrimmage.
Just keep having fun. I think we got to play together more. Trust that everybody going to do the job. I think everyone's new. We're really, really talented, right? But we're young. but we're super talented. So it's trusting in your technique, trusting in your, like, fall back on your training. Because a lot of times guys get tired, and when you get tired, it's like, fall back on what? My training. Because that's what I put myself in training for, to go to war. So they have to fall back on that and not think, oh, I gotta go make a play, right? Let me go make a play. I'll just fall back on your training, trust that the guy next to you will do his job, and the guy on the opposite side will do his job, and you do yours, and we'll be fine.
That's a fancy way of saying team chemistry and conditioning are the two things that Syracuse needs to work on right now. Trusting guys to do their job. Really young and talented. He's saying that they need to play more as a team and that when they get tired, you need to fall back on your training. But, ideally, you don't want to get too tired. So that comes down to also conditioning as well. And look, it's a brand new roster. And they're losing a lot of veteran leadership. So I'm not going to sit here and freak out over it. I think it's an honest answer from Fran Brown there. And hopefully they look better in their second scrimmage and they look good in their spring game as well. And we still got a long ways to go until their first game, which is in August against Tennessee. Next question. Fran Brown is asked about now 17-year-old four-star freshman cornerback Demetres Samuel Jr. It is actually today Demetres Samuel's birthday. So everyone wish him a happy birthday. Fran Brown had some high praise for Demetres Samuel.
He's tough, man. He's going to play both ways. So it seems like he'll have an opportunity of starting corner. So he should be our starting corner and rotating in and out at receiver. He's a freak, right? He's a freak athlete. I mean, he could be in high school, becoming probably the number one player in the country next year, or top 10 ranked, and he's here doing a hell of a job at 16 years old, competing with guys on another level. He's just like, sometimes they say God like hit certain people with double shots. He got hit with one of those, right? And, he's an amazing young man. I'm really excited and happy we got him on our team. He'll do a really good job this year. It'll be a sight to see for 3 years in college, right?
I actually did an interview with Demetres Samuel's high school coach back in April of 2024. It is here on the Locked On Syracuse channel. I will link it in the comment section below here. At that point, he was actually in the class of 2026. His recruitment was a little interesting because he committed really early to Syracuse. It was a verbal commit, of course. And then he flipped his decision to Florida, reclassified into the class of 2025, and then he flipped back to Syracuse while staying in the class of 2025. This is one of the highest ranked Syracuse football recruits in the past 20 years since a lot of these major recruiting services started to come about. And I'm very excited to watch him on the field as early as this upcoming season. And when Fran Brown says that he's going to be in college for 3 years, Fran Brown is saying that Demetres Samuel is good enough to the point where he is going to play the minimum required out of high school in order to then declare for the NFL draft. AKA, this is already someone who should be on NFL radar. That's how good Demetres Samuel is, or at least that's how he's looking so far in spring ball. And hey, starting corner right away, you're throwing him right in the fire, especially week 1 against Tennessee and all those studs over there. So, man, I wish him nothing but the best. That is going to be an awesome test for Demetres Samuel. Next up, Fran Brown is asked about cornerback Greg Delane. He is a veteran, and here's what he had to say about him.
Trying to show him how to be a leader and grow him into being a leadership, right, in the corner room. He's the oldest one there, being a redshirt junior. So he's the oldest one, and he understands college football a little more than the other guy. We got a lot of true freshmen. Right, we're fast, they're big, but they're all true freshmen. So him being the older guy, it helps a lot because he does everything right. He's locked in. He's doing everything. He's truly changed his life from the faith-driven to the family thoughts to the academics, the way he handles himself, to the body weight, staying above the body weight that he needs to be now. So he's doing all those things before. He just wasn't doing that, right, the same way. And then you weren't able to see that. Like, I think academically, what you do in the academics and then what you do like when you're off the field, it's a direct correlation to the guy on the field. And as he started to do those things the right way, and he's doing it now, you see a better football player because that's what's naturally in it. How you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Greg Delane's first season with Syracuse was all the way back in 2022. And since that point, he's played in 23 games. But to my knowledge, I looked on the Syracuse website, he only has one career start, and that came in 2023. I still think that Syracuse could use a starting corner in the transfer portal. I understand they got Demetres Samuel Jr. They also got true sophomore Davian Kerr. And, well, Greg Delane could be one of the leaders of this secondary next season. I still think they could use one, but if Greg Delane could step up and play at a starting cornerback level, then I don't think they need a starting corner anymore. So those are my thoughts on Greg Delane. Next up, Fran Brown is asked about the ACC now having 3 former NFL head coaches. My goodness, 3 of them in the ACC? Take a listen to what Fran Brown had to say.
I just be watching it, yeah. Like listening to them, try to get as much knowledge as I can as they're giving stuff out and when they talk, and I just try to listen to all the things they say. Been following them for a long time, Bill Belichick, you know what I'm saying? Bill O'Brien, so all those dudes, I didn't know that till now. You just said that about Frank. That's really good. Just to be able to have all those guys in our league to go along with the guys that are already here, right? With Coach Dabo Sweeney, right? And guy Cristobal that's at Cristobal that's at Miami. It's just a bunch of coaches in our conference that I think are really good. So getting a chance, Narduzi's a good coach. NC State coach is a good coach. Right? So all those guys, the guy that's at Cal now, I think he's a good coach. So there's a lot of guys in this conference that I get a chance to learn to by me being one of the guys that don't have as much experience as them, right? Coach Novell at Florida State, so I'm kind of the guy that's just trying to see all the stuff they do, and hopefully I could be as good as they are, have my name mentioned when people are mentioning their names at some point.
Fran Brown mentioned them in his answer, but in case you missed it, the 3 former NFL head coaches that are in the ACC are Bill Belichick at North Carolina, Frank Reich, the interim head coach now at Stanford, and Bill O'Brien over at Boston College. And I think it just shows that Fran Brown had a great first season with Syracuse football. I actually acknowledge that I believe it was the greatest first season by a Syracuse football coach ever, or at least in the modern era. If you just look at the wins and losses and the circumstances with Fran Brown, but he's still got room to grow as a head coach, which I think is frightening for the rest of college football because he's only entering his second year. And hey, you can learn from coaches that are within your conference. You could. Bill O'Brien, Frank Reich, Bill Belichick especially. You don't become an NFL head coach by accident. You don't, right? So that's Fran Brown acknowledging that, hey, similar to last week, he still has room to grow as a head coach. Now, this final question coming up here is a little bit interesting. Fran Brown is asked about the tush push made famous by the Philadelphia Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl. At the time of this recording, it's still legal in the NFL. By the time you might be watching or listening to this, it could be outlawed. But here's what Fran Brown had to say about the tush push.
Shit, I'm going to do it here. I seen the day there was 94% on the Eagles were. What? Why would you do that? That's cheating. They got to let them keep doing that. Yeah, I'm hoping that they don't. As long as it's in the NFL, it's supposed to be outlawed, right? But not in college yet, right? We putting that in. Right, so we need to try to put that. I mean, it works. It was 94%. Then the other year I looked at it, I think there was like 96 for 108 or something like that when they did it. It was on another level. I just seen it across the ESPN this morning. Thought that was a really good job of them being able to do that. So, I mean, I like the Eagles. And we knew that was like the way that we're going to win. They still can't stop. Jalen Hurts on another level, right? We still got Saquon Barkley, Brown. We got all the receivers we got. Our defense is legit. All the players from Georgia still there doing it. So, I mean, it don't matter. We just going to put something else in and make them outlaw that. Pretty soon they're going to outlaw giving Saquon Barkley the ball more than 20 times, right? Can't give him the ball more than 20 times a game. But, I mean, it's cool. Like, whatever they do, like NCAA make rules, NFL make the rules, I just want to follow them. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of, a huge business, right? This is $1 billion industry that God has given me the opportunity to help run one of the better programs in the country. I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, so Syracuse football, assuming that the tush push is still legal, they should absolutely institute it into their offense because it works much more often than not. Now, me personally, I hate the tush push, and I think it should be outlawed. And I'm saying this as someone who has Jalen Hurts on their dynasty fantasy football team. However, this is a Syracuse podcast. I can go on and on about all the things I would change about football, things that I would add, things that I would get rid of. But it's a Syracuse podcast, so we don't have all that time to talk about it. But as long as the tush push is legal, I think that Syracuse football should absolutely take advantage of it. Same with every other team across the nation, no matter the level. All right, so that's pretty much everything that Fran Brown said in his second spring ball press conference. What are your reactions to it? Comment in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. If you like this podcast, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoy the podcast, be sure to hit subscribe. Tell all your friends about Locked On Syracuse so this channel can grow and reach all Syracuse Orange fans. And I will see you all again soon.